Hello everyone, this is Mike from the Amateur Repeater Directory. Hey, this is a quick video just to show you how to move around in the system, get you exploring and figuring things out. So basically, you can see in the upper right hand corner the log out button, the blue button. I'm logged in. So basically register, you'll get a confirmation email, click on that, log in, you're gold. Your home site will be Providence, Rhode Island. You can see it up here in my combo box up here. I'm on an iPad, by the way. I love using it on an iPad. It's really nice. So I'm sitting here on Providence, Rhode Island. But what I really want to do is I want to add my home location. So under the logout, you'll see that little icon on the right. It's actually on the map. It looks like a little target. Let's click that. It's going to start spinning. It's going to ask me for permission to use my location. I'm going to say allow once in this case, and we're going to say yes. And it's going to come around here and find out exactly where I live. It's freakishly accurate. So I stopped it. It says here to find your house, double click, or just like I'm on a mobile device. So I'm going to do a long press. So we're going to come out here on this peninsula. It's not really where I live, but it's close. I'm going to hold down on that house right there. I'm going to give that name Mike's house. My antenna is 25 feet tall, and I'm going to hit save. Oh, I already did this before. Let's do Mike's house 2. Cool. So there's my home location. Let's zoom out. I'm just pinching the screen a little bit. And you can see various icons around where I live. Those are all repeaters. And when you see the little green things, those are clusters of repeaters that are super close. As a matter of fact, when you see a 2 and you zoom all the way in, you might have to click on it. This just means they physically have the same lat long. They're probably, they're on the same tower. Anyway, so you see various repeaters around. And what I'm going to do is if you click on the home location, which is the red location, you can see my elevation is 14 feet above sea level. Yeah, it's not really encouraging when you live in Florida along the Gulf like that. The ground, above ground level is 25 foot. That's my antenna. Let's go ahead and click on a repeater over here. You can see it's blinking. And also this little dialog came up. That's your repeater context. Has lots of information and some cool features. If you click on the frequency, it does a little scan. That doesn't do anything. That's just for fun. So let's do something. Let's go ahead and say we can receive on that. I click that RX button. You notice it's got a blue circle. That's my range from my home location outward that I'm able to at least receive from. And these little toolbar buttons at the top, I'm clicking them on and off. You can control if you want to see those colors or not. Let's go ahead and set this guy to green. So you can see I can transmit there, and we'll put a kerchunk here. We'll just do a ping. So that's some of the stuff you can do. You can record all that information, how far you're getting out. And let's open up. Let's click on this blue guy here, and I'm going to click the properties window in the upper left. If you see that window open up here, it's got all kinds of properties. The call sign, the frequencies, input, output, the minus, positive, offset, tones, PL tones, location, lat long, all kinds of information down here. So anyway, that's pretty cool. That there's some buttons at the top. You'll see at the bottom, at the top of this window here, there's a little blue circle with a pencil. That is edit a repeater. You can do things like change your lat long, all that kind of stuff. There's a plus sign there. That's just add a new repeater. And then you'll see this little icon next to it, which has several people on it. That is a net. So here you can set up a schedule for this repeater and have a net that occurs, let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Its duration is 90 minutes, and it starts on December 24th, and it just goes on forever, okay, to eternity. I could save that. As a matter of fact, I'll just hit save. Oh, I got to add a name over here on the details. Let's just call it Mike's. And we don't need a description, but we do need a net type. This is going to be a club net, and I'm in Central Time. Beautiful. Let's hit save. I just saved that net. Now, if you look down here, you'll see underneath nets and schedule at the bottom of this dialog, it says Mike's. Notice I should be able to, I don't think I have the press enabled for the mobile. I'll have to add that. But you can click on that little bell there, and that'll allow you to subscribe to that net. So 30 minutes before that net starts, you'll get an email. If the owner of this net changes information about it, reschedules it, you'll get an email. That's super cool. I think I have a net going on over here. Did it end? Yeah, it ended. We're gonna start one up here. This is a cool feature too. Let's close the properties window. I'm going to open this search. I clicked it over here. It's floating there. I'm going to type in W9 Whiskey Niner Alpha Lima Bravo. That's my call sign. This isn't really a repeater. I put this in here for making demos and stuff. You notice it took me to this to my repeater, and I'm going to go ahead and click properties and come down here. Whoops. And we're going to hit the nets icon. Mike's Hangout it just expired. I had it starting at 9. What time is it? It's 11:01. So it literally just stopped right before this demo. So let's do this. Let's make it 160 hours long, which is ridiculous, but we're going to hit Save Net now. Now, if it's saved, if you watch this icon that's hopping, it's going to flip to orange. You should see that happen here in just a second. Boom. So every 15 seconds, your browser is scanning to see if any nets have become active or become deactive. So that's a net that's ongoing. And let me go ahead. I'm still clicking on that. I'm going to hit my online button on this dialog. You notice that it's kind of got a little flashing thing there now. Notice if I hit Who's Online, it'll say Whiskey Niner Alpha Lima Bravo. Now, if there were 30 or 40 people online on that net and they were all using the amateur repeater directory, they would all be listed in there as little badges like that. It's pretty cool. Anyway, and also you can toggle. Let's turn this off. Let's close the properties. This networks icon where you can look for different linked networks of repeaters. Let's go ahead and click one of those. This is SARnet. You can see repeaters that are for SARnet. There'll be another checkbox below here called Nets. And when you click that, it'll hide everything but the orange nets that you see here, this guy that's blinking. Now, if I just leave my browser sit here for 2 hours, that eventually will turn back to its real icon. Everybody else sees that too. When you create a net, everybody in the whole system all over the United States is going to see that guy blinking and knows that there's a net going on that that repeater. One more thing about the scheduling. It was a pretty difficult thing to write, actually, but I wanted to show you something. So this is weekly mode. You can also have one-time mode. This is a one-time meeting. And then you can have monthly meetings. So it starts on December 24th. It's going to be at 9 p.m. and run for, let's do this one. It's going to be 30 minutes, let's say. Now, I could have it be every 2 months, and I want it to be the third Tuesday. Let's do 2 months here. Yeah. So this is pretty cool. For monthly options now, I've got it set for every 2 months. It's going to be the third week, the third Tuesday of the month, basically. So you can get pretty fancy on these schedules and so forth. I'm not going to save that one. And you can delete them too. I'm going to cancel that. But you can delete these too, just as well. It's pretty cool. So that's all working. There is some work to do on that yet. That's kind of in, I guess, a pilot stage. In about a week, it'll be hardened and be solid. I'm just doing some testing, and that got pushed up tonight. Also, in the bottom of the footer, if you look to the right, there's a little chat. You can chat here and get help that way. We also have a Discord channel. You can get help that way. I know I'm missing some things. Oh, yeah, let's click the export button. We'll get rid of this guy. Actually, let's close this. Let's go to my real home location. Let's go to home, because I have some information in here. You can see all different kinds of icons, because I've done charting and stuff like that, and I have information. So let's go to export. Now you can see the stars if I sort by stars. That's the ratings on charting. And you can do all kinds of things, like I only want the 2 meter band. And then you can just hit export to chirp and download. And You've got a CSV, comma separated file that you can import directly into Chirp and load into your repeater. One more thing before we go. You can also have all these different colored icons here. You can get your home location look pretty funky sometimes, and you might get tired of it. If you hold down on that on a mobile device or right mouse on it on a desktop, I'm going to delete my transmission data. Watch what happens. Yes, I'm sure all those icons turn back to gray. But you'll notice that some of them have stars. That's my elevation charting line of sight rating. I'm going to delete that too. Now I'm just back to plain old icons. So let's go ahead and close the properties window so we have some real estate. There's my net going on up there in the orange. That's kind of funny. I'm going to hold down on my home location and I'm going to say scan line of sight. So you can see what it's doing. It's scanning. This is the first pass. It's looking at just literally the curve of the earth. Now in the second pass, it gets some sampling of elevation and weeds out for sure failures. Now we're on the third pass. That's quite a bit more involved. That's doing a real serious 200-point mapping between your home location and every repeater in, I think, about a 200-mile radius. So it'll run on for a little while. It should finish in time for this demo here. This is a long video. I didn't really intend to make this, but I'm going to sort of broadcast this. We've been keeping this kind of low key. We've only made one or two postings about this anywhere, so it's not been seen by a lot of people. So now you can see that I have various stars. That means these guys made the cut. That means that they were at least rated something that would allow me to chat with or make contact with that. So let me click this guy. You can see it's got a star. You'll see on this dialog here, I have chart and range. I can look at the range of that repeater. That range is really big. So that tells me that that's a pretty tall repeater. But I'm going to hit chart right now. And because I've already done a line of sight scan, that data is already cached for you for that repeater. And you can see the clear shot I have. The left side over here is the home location. Up over here is the repeater. And it says, what is it? It's 345 feet tall. That's why this is a really clear line of sight. And it's kind of interesting if you look at this. You see this bottom line, it's flat, and then it gets over some terrain, then it goes back over some flat area. That's my home location here, traveling up to this repeater across this water. So let's turn off these icons up. Now you can see it. So my home location went across that water, over the land there, and over to that tower. And that's exactly what that chart shows. And we have a strong, pristine path there, almost no interference. I'm not going to go into the Fresnel zone and all that stuff today. Anyway, that's a quick tour. I'm sure I missed some features. You can go dark mode if you want to work in dark mode. It's kind of nice on your eyes, especially if you're laying in bed at night and your spouse is next to you and you're fooling around with this stuff. Anyway, I hope that gets you started. Oh, one more thing. I almost forgot something important. Let's go back to Whiskey Niner Alpha Lima Bravo. You notice that on this dialog here, it says you own this repeater. We are encouraging repeater owners to jump on board and claim ownership of their repeaters. So let me see if I can find here we go. I'm switching to DuckDuckGo. I was in Safari a moment ago. I think I have this bookmark. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. This is my owner dashboard. So I have ownership of this repeater here. You can see it in the grid. On the left, it says Whiskey Niner Alpha Lima Bravo. And you have these various stats up here. You can collapse that if you want. But there's all kinds of stats on who's clicked on your repeater, who's charted your repeater, who's exported the chirp, information from your repeater, all that kind of stuff. Let's hide that. Something that repeater owners will like is you have public and private lat longs. So the public is what the users see when they're using amateur repeater directory. The private coordinates are only for you. No one's ever going to see those, but when we chart, we're going to use your private location. That way we get a super accurate read on where your repeater is and the line of sight information. But you can, for instance, camp your repeater a mile or two one way or another if you don't want to really publish your repeater information. And I know a lot of repeater owners don't want to do that. And from here, you can also set your repeater in testing mode, maintenance mode. It's offline. You've retired it. It's online. You have a chance to put a message in there. And by the way, anybody subscribed to your repeater is going to get a message immediately when you hit Save Changes. That's pretty cool. You can also edit your repeater information over here on this side of the wall. One more thing, let's go back to the map. I didn't show you this, but on your context window, you'll see next to the bell, like I just subscribed to that repeater. So if the owner or anybody else makes changes to the repeater information, like the PL tones, whatever, I'm going to get an email. And one of the things in the email is a deep link. So notice next to the bell icon that I'm clicking here for subscribing is a little share icon. I'm going to click that. Notice it says share link copy to the clipboard. Let's open up a new tab and let's actually go. Let's go to the app. You don't even have to be on the app. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go to the app. I'm going to go to Manistee, Michigan, just to get away from the home location. Now we're going to open up a blank tab. I'm going to hit paste and go. Watch what happens. It starts in Manistee because it remembers your home location, and it directed right to the repeater that I chose. So that's a pretty cool feature. You can take that, you can share that URL to your repeater, send it to somebody. It'll take them right to the amateur repeater site and drill right into your repeater. It even opens up this dialog on the side so they can see all that information. They'll see this as well. Super cool stuff. Anyway, I know that was a long video, but I'm going to send this out to a lot of people over the holiday weekend, and I wanted to get some input on that. So hope this came out fairly decently. Thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy.